The set that most people usually wait for every Christmas is what we're going to do when it comes to brushes. So this year's brush set has been carefully created with you in mind based on feedback. And it has, look how handy and gorgeous this case is. It's got a placement for your brush holder back here. Obviously ours are double-ended, so we wanted to make sure that there was nice enough room for the hairs that sit in here. But so much space in the case for other products. So if you're going on a night away or a getaway, or you're just packing products into your makeup bag or your handbag for day to day, you've got loads of room. And then inside we have 5 double-ended beauties. I'll show you these in detail in a second. But let's not forget that every year we like to personalize, we like to make it special. You can personalize and laser the name of choice on this brush set if you want to. So you can buy it non-personalized or personalized, but it just makes the most gorgeous gift. And like I said, it's often the one that is most anticipated by people when we launch our Christmas gifting. So I'm going to demo this look and show you each of these brushes in action. But we have blush and bronze duo, shade and define duo, foundation and concealer duo, brow and liner duo, and buff and blend duo. 10 brushes essentially, because all 5 are double-ended and they literally do your full face from start to finish. You should not need to reach or want for anything else. And look at the gorgeous pink and rose gold combination this year versus our usual full rose gold. So yes, this is our brush set exclusive to online. You can personalize or not personalize. It's €60 for the set on its own, 65 for personalization, and makes the most beautiful gift. But now I'm going to show you each of these handy brushes in action. Starting with our foundation and conceal duo, you'll see the end of this brush is different to our usual complexion. It's kind of shorter and stiffer, and it's due to stippling. So it's going to give you more coverage. So this is going to blend satin silk, second skin, or tint and glow seamlessly onto the skin. But the nature of that kind of densely packed tip is going to add that little bit more coverage in areas that you might want it. So it's still flexible enough to move. It's not a brush that's super hard or stiff like a lot of them can be. I personally hate that when it comes to that style brush. But look how effortlessly it glides it on. I'm then going to swap to my concealer end, and I'm going to blend concealer in around the eye. I love this end brush because it's just so delicate to really blend into areas that need it. So you can use this directly onto concealer like I'm doing now. You can also use this to pack in foundation around smaller areas that maybe the other side of the brush just can't get into as well. But either way, the two work like a match made in heaven. Next, I'm taking our blush and bronze duo. So the first end is a nice big fluffy bronzer or blusher brush. And then you swap to this end, which is a little bit more tapered, which is great for precision of powder, precision of blush, or precision of bronzer. So you can use either end for either side that you want. So I'm going to dip into my bronzer, and I'm going to use this to lightly fluff and place onto the face. When you use a big size brush like this, you get a beautiful dispersed layer of product, so nothing is too strong or too intense. I'm going to dip into my cream and pop a little bit of that blush into the apples of my cheeks. And then lastly, I'm going to set with the more tapered end. This is going to really make me control the placement of the product and get great precision. And like I said, if you wanted a more tapered finish with your bronzer or blush, you could use this end also. This guy is also brilliant for bronzing the neck or bigger areas where you want to get the product on super quick. So that's our bronze and blush duo. Next up is our buff and blend duo, the most critical eye brush for me in my makeup bag, because I'm someone that just puts on bronzer on my eyelids every single day and then might dress it up for nighttime. So you've got one bigger, fluffier blender end and then one more taper end, as we call it. So I'm going to dip into my bronzer using my big blender brush. I'm going to pack this all over the eye. So you really want a nice big blender brush in your brush arsenal so that it's going to get any kind of day-to-day colour on that you want like this, but also it's the key to blending out a smoky eye. So blending is absolutely essential for a clean smoky eye, and a big brush like this makes it all so much easier because it blends it together, gets rid of any harsh lines, and just makes sure it all merges like a nice little family. And then when I swap to the smaller side, this is going to give me a little bit more precision in the areas that I want. So I generally focus my taper into the outer corners where I'm going to pop on a smokier shade like I'm doing now. This is a deeper matte brown. So because it's smaller in size than the blender, it's going to allow me to get into these areas a little bit easier, but it's not going to be too thick that it's going to go everywhere. So again, swapping back to my blender side to make sure that all looks clean and effortless. Staying on the eyes, the next is the Shade and Define Duo. So this end here, the flat shader end, was taken from the brush that we did last Christmas, and we had never done this brush head before and people went mad for it. And we've partnered it with the ever important pencil head brush that's going to be great for definition. So we're going to start with that. So I'm going to dip into my smokier colour. So this is amazing to kind of shade it into the upper lash line or get great precision underneath the eyes. And the under eye definition is something that we all need to really bring that smoky eye across and get it into the whole rim of the eye where all the intensity is. So a little dense pencil head brush is brilliant for that placement. I'm then going to swap around to my flat shader brush and I'm going to pack that onto the lid of my eye. You can also use this to place a colour into the lower lash line if you wanted a nice straight line of application. Guarantee you are going to love this one. This pencil head from our Shade and Define brush is also brilliant to smoke at a kohl pencil. So if you have a bit of kohl pencil lazily into the lash line and ours are nice and creamy, you can take this brush and really tease and blend it out for that kind of effortless blown out look. So the head of it is perfect size to just get in, tease it out nicely, not make it too thick or too large, but also create like a lovely diffused effect. And then last but not least, we have our brow and liner duo. So first up, our spoolie. Anyone who's followed us for a while or maybe has watched me over the last few years, you will know how important I deem a spoolie to be. It is the most important thing for brows in your makeup bag and often the most overlooked. And then we have a neat, precise angle brush. So what I'm going to do is take this into my brows. So letting the angle tip work into the shape to create and disperse the product. It's brilliant, thin and fine, so you're not going to get anything too thick into areas that you don't want it to. Brushing up and dispersing that product and then brushing through with a spoolie to make sure it moves and nothing gathers too thickly. But also, the angle is amazing for creating a flick liner. So when you do your flick liner, you need to be sure you're using a brush that's not too thick. You need to be sure that you're able to rely on the brush shape also to help make that flick happen. So I've taken some kohl pencil onto my brush. I'm going to flick out at the side of the eye. I'm going to turn that brush around and I'm going to draw back in. You can do this with shadow, kohl pencil, gel liner, liquid liner, you name it. The angle brush can do it. But it is definitely going to help you create the perfect flick. So there we have it. A whole look created using our 5 double-ended new Christmas brush set that you can personalize in a gorgeous case and pack loads of other products into for weekends away or nights away where you want to take a little bit more than just your brushes. Our brush sets are always literally the most celebrated gift that we do every year and people are waiting to see when it's here and what we're doing. So yeah, we're super excited for these. Some new additions, some trusted oldies, but goodies. And like I said, user-friendly brushes that you can create a full face without needing 10s and 20s because we just don't think that you need to do that. And yeah, I hope you like them if you do get them for yourself or someone else.